So hi, hello, and welcome. How are you all feeling? Good. You sure? Yay! You will be by the end. Yeah? So why are we here? Well, what is this? It's GoodSense conflict resolution training with some self-defense training for you as well. It might have happened anywhere, at any time, and it could certainly been a great deal worse. It was 1983, and the place was Harrogate. Some of you might know Harrogate, made famous by Betty's Tea Shops, their 100-acre stray, the Valley Gardens, and you may or may not know about the 11th day disappearance of Agatha Christie in Harrogate. And the tall, slim athlete was walking home when he was clocked and targeted by his two assailants. Have you noticed that some people are very good at dealing with conflict and some people are not so good? What is the difference that makes the difference? What is the essential and what is the idiosyncratic? One of the notions is that your personality will make a difference to how you deal with conflict. Now, lots of work's been done on personality. Started around 2,500 years ago with Hippocrates, and he noticed the difference between introverts and extroverts, although he never actually coined those phrases. That came later when Carl Jung, a student of Sigmund Freud, took personality to much greater heights. We've got a quick test to test your personality. It's very simple and yet very, very insightful. So what I'd like you to do is stand up for me, please. Thank you.
I don't specifically know, but I'm guessing it's force that you use with it's the amount of force. It's the amount of force to counter whatever's trying to batter you or whatever you're trying to.
Whoever's trying to batter you.
Or whatever you're trying to subdue as such. So without actually going too far.
No. Right. Quick story about Darren. A couple of months ago in London, saw this guy running past him, alpha leather. And Darren thought, oh, that's a bit odd. And this other guy chasing after him, saying, stop him! Stop him! So what did Darren do? Ran after him. Yeah, with his backpack on, like a turtle. Yeah, running around the streets of London. Okay? Darren eventually catches up with this guy and uses reasonable force. Don't forget Darren's knackered because he's run probably about 400 yards with a big backpack on and a big coat on, yeah, and has been walking around London, done a day's training, yeah, and he slams him into this side of a shop. But is that reasonable? Is it reasonable?
It's probably reasonable in the circumstances. I think the problem with that is what the way you've told it is the guy that shouted stop him, you haven't told him he's a police officer or anybody of authority. How do you know it wasn't one of like our guys? You could have just ripped him up.
But it says suspected.
Ah,
It says suspected, so Darren then suspected a crime had been committed, so...
You're not going to say, stop that man here, or stop that woman for no particular reason. Okay?
So what you do?
Alright? It stole a Rolex watch off a guy waiting at a crossing. You know? Because you can take it off the wrist, can't you, quite easily. Yeah? David Blaine, Dynamo, they all do it, don't they? Yeah. No, it was rubbish. Okay? If you'd have not known about our history after we'd told you, just by looking at us, do you know our history? No? So Darren didn't know what he was dealing with either, did he? Yeah, so you used to use reasonable force to keep yourself safe. David?
Does it mean like it's proportionate as well to what you're being met with? So the force that, depending how much force is being put on you,
Okay, so
it's proportionate to that.
So reasonable force. It's made up from the law, yeah? And under Section 3.1 of the Criminal Law Act 1967. Yeah? A person may use such force as is reasonable in the circumstances in the prevention of crime, or in effecting or assisting in the lawful arrest of offenders or suspected offenders, or persons unlawfully at large. Okay? So they don't actually have to have committed crime, do they? Because they could be suspected of committing crime. Alright? But where does this end up, ultimately, if you defend yourself and you happen to kill someone? Where does it end up?
In court.
In court, doesn't it? Alright? Where does our law come from?
Where does it come from originally?
Yeah.
Law originated in Greece, surely. It was all.
In Greece?
Well, I don't know. Well,
In Parliament.
Yeah, in Parliament, but originally. Parliament makes all laws, didn't it? Magna Carta was.
Magna Carta